Welcome to Jungle Bay, Dominica. Jungle Bay is one of the Caribbean's premier ecotourism resorts. It's located on the nature island of Dominica. Jungle Bay has some unique features. I want to go over some of those interesting features with you. I want to talk to you maybe a little about Dominica and some of the interesting things that's happening on this island, in particular the area of sustainable energy. Dominica is transitioning from fossil fuels to renewable energy, and this is an interesting new development that I want to share with you as we walk through this video today. Jungle Bay really started as a childhood dream of mine. Growing up in the Caribbean and seeing tourism, sun, sand, and sea, I always thought it was possible to have a different type of tourism. Certainly, the warming up at wintertime is all good, but a tourism that's sort of wrapped around the environment where people can come and enjoy the Caribbean in a unique way where we can celebrate the traditions, the heritage, and culture and the ecology of the Caribbean in a way that's not destructive to the environment and that support the empowerment and development of local communities. And so this is sort of the genesis of this Jungle Bay dream. Jungle Bay has evolved in an interesting way that has far exceeded my expectations. We've got a unique blend of adventure and wellness, all nestled in this beautiful, beautiful coastal, almost like a village with bungalows overlooking the ocean. And it's just a whole bunch of fruit trees. And in developing Jungle Bay, I wanted to do something that was sustainable in construction. So the units had to be built, all the accommodation had to be built in a manner that look and feel really rustic with minimal disturbance to the environment. Plus, really wanted to put it in a tropical setting so the landscape became tropical fruit trees, an array of tropical fruit trees, over 100 varieties, avocados, mangoes, papayas, soursop, sugar apple, all types of tropical fruits, just all over this resort, creating an edible resort. We like to think of it as the Garden of Eden. You walk out of your room and you pick something interesting. And the experience on property is as exciting as the experiences off property, where we take our guests to explore waterfalls, hot springs, to snorkel, to kayak, and so on. And on property, we have a beautiful spa, we have, tea tasting, we have Caribbean cooking, all types of experiences. And it's really an amazing vacation and an amazing healing place. So, this is what you get in addition to your regular vacation. You get this very special experience where a lot of yoga teachers bring their groups and professional organization come to, whether it's medical or some kind of corporate retreat. So Jungle Bay has evolved into a wellness space in the Caribbean where yoga teachers bring their groups in. We've got amazing facilities that host some great yoga retreats and other wellness retreats. It's about health and wellness. And also, we host corporate groups, but a lot of individuals and families that just want to come to this amazing island and explore and relax and enjoy the privacy and the authenticity of an amazing, unique tourism experience. Jungle Bay has far exceeded my expectation as a Caribbean developer in terms of, what we would be able to achieve in this amazing island where it almost feels like time stops still, but in a positive way because we've been able to preserve the natural environment and to be a host, a unique host for people that are seeking to reconnect to nature, people who are just seeking to feel healthy again, and so this is what we as Jungle Bay have been able to achieve. And we are sitting in this island as the host island where some amazing things are happening. We've preserved our whales. We have a sperm whale sanctuary in Dominica that's the first in the world. We've got a number of unique natural features. It's all about nature on this island. And tying to this nature is our energy. Where does the energy come from? So traditionally, the energy of all the Caribbean islands came from fossil fuels. But Dominica, fortunately, because we have a lot of waterfalls, and rivers, we've developed a hydroelectric system where Last year, 27% of the national grid and all the power we use, 27%, came from hydroelectric. Well, the good news about Dominica and renewable energy is it's this time it's gone much further than that. Fortunately, Dominica is host to some geothermal, wells, and Dominica is now going to be relying on geothermal energy for the majority of its use. So this is something that really ties into the product of Jungle Bay, ties into nature in an amazing way, and way more than 50%, probably 80% or more of the island's electricity, when you turn that switch on as of this month, it's going to be either hydroelectric or geothermal. And this is a fantastic thing. So I'd like to take you on a little road trip away from this beautiful property, take you to the heartland of Dominica, a place called Laudat, where we're developing Dominica's first geothermal energy plant. So I'm welcomed to the site by Mr. Fred John, the man himself. Fred is the managing director of the Dominica Geothermal Development Company, and Fred is the person behind this entire project. So Fred, thank you so much. I know this is a busy time because you are commissioning this plant as we speak.
Correct.
So I want to thank you for taking the time to just welcome me. So Fred, the energy for this plant comes from, I understand, a geothermal reservoir that exists under Dominica. Explain that. I mean, I need to know, and the viewers would like to know.
Great. So, and that's an important point, because in Dominica we have something unique, or at least something very special, and that is a geothermal reservoir right beneath our feet here. It's about 1 kilometer down. The studies we've done so far shows it's about 15 square kilometers into the surface area, so that takes us into Waterhaven, Trafalgar, and it is a great reservoir for energy generation. And by great, I mean it's not that deep by geothermal standards.
We're looking at some round things, and this, I guess, is the generating plant, or a part of it. Tell me how this thing works.
Okay. The first thing to know is that there are the 10 megawatts that we are producing. That the 10 megawatts has been produced from two identical units of 5 megawatts each. Okay, so if you look towards the facility here, it really splits down the middle. 5 megawatts, 5 megawatts.
Okay, yeah.
Totally
So you basically have two plants.
We have two producing units.
Yes. I don't know, give us a little rundown on maybe some of the other components of this.
Well, the heart of the system is, let's start really, is the reservoir we spoke about before, and the wells, which are not here. Once you get past that, this is where the action is. The energy from the geothermal fluid goes to what's called heat exchanger, which are the tubes you see, the horizontal tubes you see here.
Right.
That's where the geothermal fluid meets a second fluid, which is actually what turns the turbine. Okay? The turbine is right here. Small gray object you see here, that's the turbine. And to the right of it, this rectangular box, is the 5 megawatt generator.
Okay.
Everything else really and truly just supports the heart of the system.
What is the significance of this this valve, right? This whole apparatus here.
Okay, so we mentioned before that the reservoir is the heart of the geothermal system. We have a great reservoir here. This is how we get to the reservoir. It's called a well. In this case, it's used for producing or removing fluid from the reservoir. It's a production well. This is about 1.3 kilometers deep. 1.3
kilometers deep.
That's correct.
And it just comes shooting through this.
Shooting through in its own pressure. It's a very it's an artesian well, as they call it. And the fluid from here goes through these pipes out down here. And ultimately makes its way to the power station, where it's converted to electricity.
Okay, interesting. That was an amazing visit to Dominica's new geothermal plant. And this is very exciting news for all of us in Dominica and for the world, that there's less dependence on, non-renewable sources of energy. And Dominica is clearly paving the way as the leader in the Caribbean in sustainable energy. We think that'll be a great boost for our tourism. We think that'll be a great boost for our image. And certainly you visitors, when you come to Dominica, when you turn on that switch, you know that energy is renewable, clean energy. So we're happy to tie in the geothermal, development in Dominica with Jungle Bay, and we look forward to hosting you. And maybe when you're here, you can do a visit to the new geothermal plant in Dominica while you explore the amazing features of Jungle Bay and our amazing island of Dominica.